Hey, Internet. Welcome back to Same-ish Different Day, the podcast where we continue the march into madness. I'm Raza Malik, and I'm joined with my Amazeballs co-host, Bailey Nargang. Also featuring the lovely Wine Mom, the arbiter of everything TikTok and YouTube.
Hey, it's Wine Mom.
Bailey here. Gotta drop that reminder that you can find this show on any streaming service you use. Remember to leave a sassy review, and you want to bash us or our opinions generally? Well, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and maybe some other places in the future.
I join these guys weekly to keep their egos in check as we break down complex social issues and talk about why your kids shouldn't be watching family vloggers.
We talk about real-ish on a real level. Ain't got time for the Twitters? Don't worry, we have collectively wasted our existence combing the internet for you.
Also, before these two get carried away, don't be shy. Join our Discord for the inside scoop. You can also support us on Patreon, where you can work your way up our very own class system. And don't worry, it's pay to win.
So, welcome back to another episode of Same Shit, Different Day, where we try not to rip each other's heads off.
Let's get it. What's up, internets? Welcome to Same-ish Different Day, the podcast with a name that we can't say anymore. This
Diarrhea.
week, Raza wants to help teach you how to edgelord in an hour or less. So, we're going to talk about the trending topic of what it is being edgy. The internet was made on it, and I know we definitely participated in some questionable communities in our times because it was just the evolution of being a funny person or a gamer or just a denizen of the internet overall. So why do people want to be edgy now? Back in the day when people became edgy, it was to stand out, to say something. It was people in the left field would lose their mind when they saw this. And nowadays, everyone is edgy or tries to be edgy. So when everyone is trying to be a 4chan shitlord, how does one stand out from that? And with that logic, being an edgelord is a form of conformity now. Being a nice person is considered being a rebellious act because we're so used to watching XQC on stream just being a dingus all day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know what
It's
Twitch is.
It's good that
anymore.
you don't.
Never heard of that guy.
Yeah. XQC? Don't you mean Triple
Stinky
X
boy?
starring Vin Diesel? My joke was funnier.
But so I think you two would have contrasting opinions, and I think we all understand the same era of YouTubers. But who popularized edgelordness? Was it Filthy Frank era YouTube? What popularized and made it everyone want to be edgy?
I think you said it, or I said it in the script. It was that 4chan. I think that would sort of. I think it came from that because it was unadulterated, unfiltered. You could say whatever you want and no consequences. Whereas YouTube, even YouTube back in the day had some consequences, but it just I think it came from there, and sort of every site is trying to build, is trying to replicate that sort of community. It's like Reddit, for example. Reddit is trying to be, or is like that now.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Mom?
I think I agree with Raza. I think that's probably where it started, as far as I think it was a small niche group at first, and then I think characters like Filthy Frank and the type of people we see on YouTube and the type of people we see on Reddit now, that's where their inspiration came from. But I think right now when you think about Edge, and I mean okay, we can say it's on Reddit because a lot of it is there, but I think majority now comes from Twitter. I think that's kind of where the edgelords live.
I can attest to that very much. Not because I am that edgelord, because I see that
There's got to be there's got to be an edgelord TikTok that we're not aware of too.
Probably.
I don't think so.
It's
You
probably
know better than us.
edgelord,
I don't think so.
in the way that agrees with us. So we don't think it's edgy because it agrees with our narrative. That's what I think is on TikTok.
Wait.
What?
Repeat that?
I think there is an edgy community on TikTok, but because we don't think it's edgy, because it agrees with what we think of like what how like I think it
Oh,
like
I get what
agree
you're saying. You're trying to say
yeah.
we are edgelords, so because we are edgelords, we don't see that as being an edgelord.
Yeah, but I'm also saying that like because our opinions and our views sort of
Right.
agree with that edge community. So we
Uh-huh.
don't see it as edgy, but the outside will. Like on Instagram, you see the majority of the pages are right skewed. So it's edgy for us, but like to the majority of Instagram users who agree with that mindset don't find it edgy. So I think it's like how the person looks like which person looks at it. So edginess
I
is
can
like relative.
I can allow you to have that opinion, but
So
I will also disagree and say I don't think there's edge on TikTok. I accept your opinion, but
Okay.
I don't think there's edge on
because
TikTok.
then
I think there's
because
attempted edge, but it's not really
There's
there.
a all right.
I'm not gonna argue that. I know there's some wild like unfiltered clips of like Second World War and shit like that on there. So I kind of presume
Yeah.
there would be, but I do trust you there. The
Yeah.
thing I was interested in, because I think what Raza's kind of pointing at is because you can have like liberal edge lords. And that is
Yeah.
like the most frustrating group of the bunch because it does feel like more of like a popularity grab. Faux edge, as Giga says.
Right.
Right?
Diet edge.
Diet edge,
Diet
I don't
diet
edge.
know. I
Yeah.
edge.
just
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
find people on TikTok like they're just saying opinions of other people. Like they're just recycling opinions. I don't
Yeah.
think it
I
actually
mean,
is any true edginess.
yeah, and that's like I think that's like even Facebook to a degree is like that too now because it's all like we're recycled edge.
But it's
I
like
mean,
censored,
Yeah.
recycled.
yeah,
Excuse me.
it's all
Censored, recycled, boring edge
yeah,
content.
and that's why those sites aren't doing as good as say TikTok, for example. So like
Mm.
because all like the meat and all the freshness is still there. So yeah, I kind of can agree.
So then,
Hmm.
as per the conversation we were having when this thing opened up with the pendulum, now that you're saying this has become like a conformity thing, right? Like becoming edgy is something that has become
A
the norm,
trend.
right? Do you
Yeah,
think that's going to swing back the other way, such as
probably.
cancel culture, quote unquote, that annoying term that we hear too much of? You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean? Is
think it
that like
will.
a
Yeah.
victim of the pendulum, do you think?
Yeah, yeah, because like I think how like humans are, we tend to have ADHD a lot, so we will go from one side to the other side inevitably. Like in like less than 10 years, I
Okay.
think
I'm confused by that question. So what you're saying is right now the social justice warriors are less and it's more so edge.
yes,
And do we think that it's going to swing back into having more
Or is it
SJWs and
currently?
less edge is what you're saying? You think it's going to
yes,
like do that?
yes. That's what
I don't
he's
think
saying.
so. Okay, continue saying what you're saying, Ross. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was
Uh,
confused by where you were going with your statement based
I
on
was
your
kind of
question.
asking where in that pendulum do you think we're at, and where do you think it's going?
Okay,
I think we're still going this way.
We're going
towards the
back
edge lords.
towards the
The
edge
edge,
lords.
the
We're
edge
going
lord,
towards the edge lords. I think
because
we're going the other way.
we haven't done a full swing yet.
You
So
think
we
we're
have,
going the other way?
yeah, dude, we're
I think
still
we're.
going. We're still
I
going
think.
here.
I think we're
You're
still
not
seeing.
looking.
We're going just to see, and then it's gonna pop back. That's what we're almost at the pop back, and
So
that's
the
all the
pendulum
conservative stuff that
is
we see going
literally.
on.
So the pendulum is literally, and I quote, edging.
You guys are making this so confusing. Wait,
No, yeah,
so
I
what?
agree with.
Like, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no,
No,
it's okay.
get
Go,
in
go,
there. Put it in wine
go.
mom language. It's your turn. It's your turn.
No, no, but go ahead. What were you gonna
No,
say?
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Go, go.
Okay, I don't think we're gonna see SJWs anymore. Not in the way that we used to
Oof.
see them. Because back okay, so think about back when we were younger and we were on the internet. Literally everyone was an SJW. Everyone wanted to argue with everyone about who's right, who's right. That was literally all the internet ever was for. But I find now 90% of people are trying to be edgier all the time, regardless of what's going on. And so the reason why I don't think that we'll swing back to those, I mean, there's always going to be SJWs, right? But I don't think we're going to swing back to the time when it was just all social justice warrior crap, right? When everyone would be like, oh, you're a keyboard warrior. And that was always like the comment, right? But I think now, because of the pandemic, a lot of us are more pessimistic and a little bit grumpy and a little bit more like less caring to have these arguments. Because let's just say this, okay? The people now who are seen as edgelords, right? The people who are, I guess you would say, more left leaning or liberal type content, who are seen as like the edgelords now, and we look at the conservative people more so as like the SJWs, just not because they are doing anything SJW, but just because like what they're trying to do in order to maintain media presence and try to gain sympathy is by being more social justicey, right? That's what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think that like we're so tired that it's just easier to troll or not respond at all. And I think majority of people are on the common sense side, I hope. And so now we're just getting to the point where we just don't even care to argue anymore. Like I literally don't even care to argue anymore.
It's tough.
Like if somebody tries to fight with me, I'm just like, okay, love you, bye.
Your experience is valid, and I do relate to it personally. So this isn't a but statement. This one is like yours
It's a but
is right.
statement.
No, I think alternatively, and I think they're both. I'm torn because I do witness a lot of opposite with the left wing people getting more riled up and being more divisive and having like more divides because people don't want to like meet in the middle and they won't even talk about the shits. So I'm like watching people get more radically progressive quite often. But at the same time, I think that's a matter of environment, you know, and access to shit and coziness, because it's like rich people doing that typically.
Okay, I think you're correct, but I think you also have to look at geographical location when you take that statement.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you look at Americans, there's always been some form of a balance, right? The liberal people on that side have always kind of been that way of like, whatever, like, this is the fact, take it how you want. I'm not going to argue with you here, right? Because I guess, just their way of living has always been more aggressive to the, I guess, conservative leaning group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in Canada, we've always been majority liberal or like on the socially fair side of the world, right? But I think since the pandemic and since specifically incidents that have happened in Ottawa, it's creating a generation of people who are just like, honestly, I don't even care to argue with you. If you can't see past the end of your nose, I'm wasting my energy. And so now we're getting to that point of what you're saying. Whereas traditionally we wouldn't have been, because we didn't have that much, I guess you could say, radicalism. We didn't have that much here then.
Yeah, I agree. I think going back to that question Bailey was asking, I think if I think about it, we're more in a middle ground. Like, I think Wine Mom is right to a degree that I think the social justice warrior is gonna go away, the but okay, so it's the term that will go away because
Yeah.
they'll start to act more like their counterparts on the right, like fucking Antifa, for example. They'll start to act like that to be more, as you were saying, progressively radical. So I think if anything, when the pendulum goes fully that way, we'll see more aggressive people on both sides of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if it's on this side, we'll see an imbalance of what is going on. We'll see one side stronger than the other side. So because it's going, I believe, because it's going this way, we're kind of seeing the playing field kind of equalizing, and this trucker thing is exposing those people essentially, like telling us who thinks this way because I don't know about you guys, but I've seen so many people I knew thinking they had the same
Common sense, as Wine Mom says.
yeah, common sense, not even just common sense, but like the same liberal views as I do, which don't even need to be common sense. They're just normal views to
Yeah.
to have.
Yeah.
But I thought those people, one last thing, and then you can jump in.
Yeah.
I thought those people would be like me, but then finding out that like, oh, they're not like me. So it's like I think the more the pendulum swings this way, the more we'll find out who is actually who, as opposed to it goes on the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I think what's really happening, because what you said there is a very powerful statement, right? We we tend to assume other people's political position based on the friendships that we have with them, right?
Hmm.
And like I don't blame you for that, because obviously you're going to think the person you trust that you're close, like I would like to think that you guys share a lot of the same views as me, because we wouldn't be friends otherwise, right? You obviously would like to think that, but
Hmm.
I think the problem with the current state is because I'm finding it very hard to label certain people that I've known for a long time who are saying some really bad opinions. I'm
Mm-hmm.
finding it hard to label them as, a radicalist or a conservative, or even put them in those categories, right?
Hmm.
Because a lot of these people, the line for them, I don't think they actually have any political ideologies. I don't think they actually have any genuine opinions, because the line for them is so blurry of to like what's important. I think I'm more inclined to call them selfish people than political
Hmm.
people, because
Yeah.
it's
No.
their political views are very temporary, right? Because
Yeah.
right now we're so about this movement, about this and about that, and it's like I will use one example specifically, and we talked about this off the show a couple weeks ago. Um, I know somebody really well from high school. We haven't talked in many years. It's not like we're friends anymore. It is what it is, right? We have each other on social media because for some reason that's just kind of how our world works, right?
Hmm.
They were posting a lot of stuff in regard to the convoy and the movement and the protesting, and how they felt certain ways in regards to their children's life experiences and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you're confused, but that's fine. None of my business. I'm not your mom. I'm not your kids. You're not my
Isn't it?
responsibility,
It's
right?
in it's in the name though.
Mm-hmm.
Wine
Yeah.
mom. So,
No, ignore. So I'm just like, okay, that's fine. I went about my business and I posted a TikTok to my story that says, if you support this movement, but you've never cared about all the other various movements, I'm not
hmm.
going to tell you what they all are,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're here, you probably already know them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if it's about this, but it's not about any of these, then you actually aren't doing anything in regards to human rights activism
Hmm.
whatsoever. So
Hmm.
LOL, no. Literally viewed my story within 20 minutes, had posted something in regards to the water
You told me
crisis. And
about this.
yes,
Yeah.
I just told you that, in
Yeah.
regards to the native water crisis.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, girlfriend, do you
Yeah.
think that you have never cared about,
Yeah.
I have never
Yeah.
once in all the time you've been on my social media, we've had each other on social media, have you ever cared about a single political cause?
Hmm.
Yeah.
But this is the
Yeah.
movements you're making on social media. Do you not
So
feel embarrassed?
Oh, yeah.
so to bring it
You
full
first.
circle, I think that's like a very interesting discussion to have in terms of like an overload of information and how that attributes to why people are being edgelords and how that's affecting now how we intake our information, because we're viewing it through such a pessimistic filter as you've
Okay.
prescribed, to
One
like
other
bring
thing.
it back on topic.
Right.
Damn it! Now I can't go off topic again.
No, but I mean, like, just you probably can after I say what I'm going to say.
No, it's okay. Cool.
But what I want to make note of is that what I'm noticing now with the trends of people who are aligning with certain political views that aren't genuine to who they actually are is like, now they're masking this shitty opinion with other good opinions, right? And that's the thing that's bothering me, is because there's the certain group of people that are like, it's human rights, it's human rights, it's human rights, who have said nothing about genuine human rights. Now all of a sudden are aligning themselves with causes that they've never cared about before. They don't actually care. They're just trying to show I'm not picking and choosing my activism. I care about both things. It's like, no, now you care about it because everybody's pointing their finger at you and going, are you about human rights activism? Or is this about the fact that you can't see past your own selfish needs and wants?
So to bring this back on topic, how does this relate back to what we were talking about like societal and the
Because I
pendulum?
think social
Can we tie
justice
a bow
warriors,
on this topic?
Okay, Dad. The social justice warriors, right, I think are using things to mask them. Like, if we're calling conservatives social justice warriors now, right, they're using other things to sort of mask their behavior to seem more...
Continue. I didn't cut you off. I didn't say nothing.
No, go ahead. I don't have anything else to say, because I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to explain, that why it makes sense to what I'm saying. But I'm just basically trying to make the point of, like, they're using, the certain groups are using other tools to sort of like mask their whateverisms. I don't know how to explain myself.
I think I know what you're trying to say. They're trying to like pick and choose, or like do performative
Yeah.
performative activism, because all of a sudden you're bringing it up, and then now it's now the utmost importance to them when they didn't even know. Like, I have so many people like that too. It's like, you didn't even know about this when it was happening. Why are you caring about it like a year later?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think something to be discussed then, as we're talking about internet culture shifting between these things, is like evaluating A, how you intake information, and then B, how you participate after intaking said information. Would you agree?
Yes. And I know how to bring it back full circle. I think people posting, for example, by saying the trucker stuff, it's to get a reaction. I think 9 times out of 10 is to get a reaction for the other side. That's how the edgelord is on. It's not even just the trucker stuff. It's for anything. I do it. I think Barely does it. You'd probably do it. Well, I'm on. We all do it because we want to see people looking at our stories and see if they saw it and see what their reactions are. So to be an edgelord, regardless of the situation, is just to get a reaction out of people. It doesn't necessarily you care about the topic or care about what you're defending or being against. You just want to be. So that will an edgelord will get fucked up in any debate, because I know the three of us are consistent with our beliefs. I believe in some shit. Barely believes in. My mom believes in some good stuff too. No, but like being an edgelord, you're not consistent with your beliefs or your mindset. So that's, if you want to learn how to be a proper edgelord, at least you can be an edgelord and be consistent. You just need to stay on topic for the entire time and try to, which we don't, so we're not good as edgelords here, but we try to be consistent and try to, sorry to hijack this, but like try to be consistent and try to stay on focus on what you think is important, because you can be an ethical edgelord too and actually talk about things that are proper.
I think that's why it's reactionary. I just want to highlight that one word. I'm not going to go long. Just reactionary. I think that was key there.
No, but you're right. That's the big thing, is like, we've talked about this. Listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. And then 9 times out of 10, you'll win the argument.
Exactly, yeah. Or if you're like me, and if you taste blood in the water, just go right in for the kill.
Just calling all the shark homies. Let's get them.
Yeah,
all right,
toxic over here.
Now we've changed up the segment so that if things get spicy like it just did, we could bring in some comedic relief. So, kids, we have Am I the Asshole?
I literally forgot about that. I was like, I'm gonna change. I thought we're gonna change it. Like, oh shit! I just did this extremely hard thing of copying and pasting the section into another section. Oh my god!
All right, kids.
So, am I the asshole for shutting down a conversation due to a joke? I, female, 39, asked my sister, female, 40, to stop saying that I do not have a real job because I work in public education. I asked her to stop. This has been going on for years, but I just hit my limit and she came back with, I am just joking. I told her I am done talking with her until she can respect me. So, am I the asshole that I told my sister I am stopping conversations when she starts in on this old joke that I have told her countless times makes me upset?
My favorite thing about Bailey talking like a white girl is that he sounds like one of the girls from Mean Girls.
Yeah.
That's what I go
Okay.
for. But yeah, no, definitely not. That's healthy. That's setting boundaries. You're not an asshole. You might. It's fair to also feel guilty because it's like a sibling. It's someone close to you. It's a tough decision to make. But ultimately, man, you got to set them boundaries.
Throw hands, like what Wine Mom will probably do. Just throw hands.
I don't. I guess you want my opinion.
No. Continue on to the next section.
So this is a thing. I think I've talked about this with you guys before. I think teachers are the most important and most valuable people, and they deserve a lot more respect because they are educators and full-time babysitters for your fucking terrible kids.
Yeah.
And I don't think her job is a joke. I think the
Mhm,
system that she works for is a joke,
mhm,
but she
Mm-hmm.
is fundamentally not a joke. And if
mhm.
somebody is your sibling, because there's always this thing with siblings, and we know this, there's always some degree of competition. And when
Mhm.
one sibling thinks that they are better than you because they maybe have a different education or a different job, it gets really fucking boring
Yeah.
when they constantly put you down and make fun of you. As somebody who has experienced that and
Mhm.
then was the one who actually had the upper hand later on,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, fuck you.
I
You're not an
agree
asshole. Your sister's an asshole. Shut the fuck up.
because she never.
Yep.
Sorry.
She's probably a stay-at-home mom, and she's just a big jerk.
Jesus, Roz is out here getting us canceled, which is a good segue. Okay, next section. We'll
I
tie
want to
on
add
well.
something to
Okay, get in here,
yeah.
you fucking disruptive man. What do you want?
I was saying this yeah, it's just like come up with new material. If
Yeah.
she's been doing it for years now, she has more than enough time to have a new joke.
Yeah.
Can't you just be like if you're gonna joke with your sibling, which I do all the time, I have grown from calling her Four Eyes to calling her even worse names now. See, I have evolved. This person clearly needs to evolve in order to have that healthy relationship. And
Well,
yeah.
she's 40, so it's kind of the end of the line for her, I think.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
She
I
that's
doesn't
kind
have
of
mean,
like
anything better.
it
we're
doesn't
talking
matter.
about your little
40,
sister and shit, you know?
40, 10 years old. It doesn't
Honestly,
matter. You're self-improving.
I'm just making a stab at the older sister for being a bitch.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's
Alright.
fair. Anyways, Bailey wanted to move this podcast along because Bailey has a
Yeah.
family to go to on
Yeah,
Family Day.
I'm just trying
Yeah.
to keep this entertaining, fam. Come
Yeah.
on.
You're not
So,
letting us talk.
Yeah, I
oh,
think Wine Mom
whatever.
and I is
All
Wine
right,
Mom and
go
I
ahead.
are like are like Will Ferrell and John C. Riley.
Yeah,
I'm
I
John
can't shut up.
Sure.
C. Riley.
Sure. All right.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
All right.
I'll take
So,
that.
tying into the last one, staying on like the conceptually, right? We just had we ended off like the reactionary stuff associated with being an edgelord, and it's all about getting the views and the likes and all that. So, why are boomers so late to the party, fam? So, boomers will still use the quote unquote I identify as a helicopter joke as if the year's 2010. Like, why are they trying so hard to join in on the party now? Is it because these new things are making them feel more included in an internet culture? Like, do they think it's like how they communicate online? Or is it that like their inability to accept like social change and they're scared to see the world change, so they're trying to hold on to old humor? Now, Raza brought up the relative example of Ricky Gervais, right? Ricky Gervais has been in the headlines trying to get quote unquote canceled so that he can clearly just have articles written about him and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, to us it seems lame, but to his fans who are older and younger, this is like thought provoking, quote unquote. Even though it's like it's literally just a PR device. So how do
Mm-hmm.
you tell that, like, when you're looking at someone like Ricky Gervais or these boomers that are combating cancel culture for headlines, are they just doing it for more headlines? I guess just exactly what we tied in there, right, is a very reactionary thing to answer that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's the fear of the loss of influence. That's exactly what it is. They're trying to make sure that they maintain their ability to influence older and younger people because there is that mid generation, which I guess you would consider our age bracket, maybe a little bit older and a little bit younger. We're kind of the internet generation. And so we are self educated and self informed, and we kind of are able to see through that kind of stuff. And so their old people influence doesn't work anymore. And so the reason why they're now using internet jokes, even though they are far behind, is because they're afraid to lose their influence.
I would agree with you from my professional perspective as well. Like, through my day job, that is literally what I'm seeing. I see it as much
Yeah.
more of this, like, they are trying to conform and they are just literally
I'm cool,
4 years
old
behind.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like Ricky Gervais, like he's everything he does is trying to be um edgy. Like everything like he goes around talking about the trans community like it's like if he's the first one doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like the so I was on his Twitter and he uses the same jokes. And like I back in the day I thought he was kind of cool, but then as the older I grew, I realized that wait, he's just like there's funnier people out there. I may get hate on that, but there's funnier people out there. But he doesn't understand that like the times are moving on, and like yes, his show on Netflix is one of the best shows rated, right? But like I think it's because he's been able to cement himself as a type of character where he can't really move, move out of it. So that's why he's
Yeah.
doing all of these like the cancellation tour, which is an ironic name for a tour because that defeats the
I
purpose of
know.
the going
It's like,
on
I
tour.
just
So yeah,
ultimately why Wine Mom is correct there. And then I just want to bookmark one thing. Hold this for a convo for later. We need to, how did you de-edgelord your taste in shit? Like, that's a good story for one day. But
South
Wine Mom,
Park.
get in there.
South Park. I just it's just very cringy.
It
This
is
whole
cringy. Yeah.
cuz like okay, this whole like this mentality of like if I ask to be canceled then I'm uncancelable or I'm
Hmm.
ignorable or whatever people think it is when you ask to be canceled. It's like, do you know that now you're in the category of like just you're now a Sam Pepper? Like you're just cringy, bro. Like
Yeah.
I don't even care to cancel you or even attempt to cancel you. I don't care to give you a redemption arc at all. Like I just
Hmm.
find you as this part of this like weird cringy part of the internet of like a person who just like doesn't know when to stop. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't care
Like
I
and comedy is supposed to go with the times, right?
somewhere.
Yeah, or yeah.
Yeah.
And Ricky is literally stuck in like 2015 still.
The
Uh,
cancel the whole like cancel me
2018.
jokes.
no, not even 2018.
The whole cancel me jokes and like when people do something like, "Oh, I'm going to get canceled if I say this hot take." It's like
Yeah,
it's always been boring. It always will be
yeah.
boring. I've never found it funny. You will never be funny if that is the only
It's
joke you have.
it's like when Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle is like going like, "Oh, they're gonna cancel me for this." Meanwhile, he literally last week signed a new, I think 4 or 5 deal with like Netflix.
Yeah.
So the culture is great because okay, I kind of wrote
Yeah.
it
Clip
in the script
that.
wrong. Cancel culture is great because what cancel culture actually does, it builds your career. It
Yeah.
it it gets you paid. It literally gets you paid
Yeah.
and keeps you
Yeah.
relevant, right? There's
Honestly,
who is being canceled and stayed canceled.
Yeah, I
yeah.
just it definitely 100% is just them trying to
Hmm.
stay relevant. Like what I was talking about the other day and thinking about a lot
Mm.
is like as these people are saying about like, oh, I could get canceled for this, or what about this, or Dave Chappelle's going on stage. It's like, but the thing is, everyone has the same bar now, right? Like
Yeah.
we're all playing. Okay, maybe you will get canceled for this, but we're all held to the same fucking bar, whether we like it or not. So as much as you want to sit here and whine about it, it's like welcome to the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? Like you're complaining about a bar that we all have to compete against now. So what's new about this, fam? Like, yeah, we can't talk about a lot of stuff on the internet already as it is, right?
Yeah. Like I just think that like it's just cancellation is just another way to say please revive my career. Like Bill Maher, I'm not sure who you know. Bill Maher is Mom. He's like a political commentary. He's also a comedian. He's much a part of the same ilk as Ricky Gervais and like Dave Chappelle, and then he's pivoting towards this cancellation thing because he isn't doing good in numbers. So if they say, "Oh, I'm getting canceled," they're all of a sudden like trending like number one or two on Twitter, and
Yeah.
therefore more sold out shows, right? So it's just a lazy way to be funny, I find, because every
Yep.
comedian wants to be canceled because it means tickets get sold more. Oh, I'm getting canceled. Fucking cool boy. And but back in the day, you sorry. Back in
Well,
in the day, people will be worried about being canceled. They'd have
Hmm.
lawyers on deck coming up, but like defend.
who's the famous shock jock thing? Howard or Stewart or whatever, the famous shock
Al
jock.
Stern.
Howard Stern. That's Howard
Yeah,
Stern started that model, right? Do stuff
yeah,
so outrageous that you get headlines written about how bad and disgusting you are, you know?
yeah. It's just like instead of being creative, instead of being like actually like putting some timed effort into your craft, motherfuckers just want to get canceled because it means another Netflix special.
I mean, like I've said this before, just ignore these people. Like someone who wants to be canceled or is asking about cancellation or people are trying to cancel them, literally just literally block from your feed.
Yeah,
Just
honestly,
block, ignore, they don't
honestly,
exist. If you want to genuinely cancel someone, literally remove that person from your
yeah.
existence.
Like
So
while cancel culture isn't real, dying of irrelevancy is.
yeah.
So
Exactly.
So to bring it
it,
back in
yeah.
a lighthearted way, this was a fun convo starter here, right? So if the boomers are adhering to this type of humor to try to stay relevant and get like free views pretty much, right? How do
Hmm.
you teach a boomer the new and modern internet humor?
You just you don't teach them anything. You just wait your time because their time in the sun is coming soon.
No, that's so. You're so mean.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Um,
man.
no. What you should do is basically like expose them to like what actual comedy is of the time,
yeah.
and like like wean them into it. Don't throw a bucket of water on it instantaneously. Just show them what people consider funny, and then compare it to what they think is funny, and then hopefully they'll see that oh my God, my taste is messed up, and then uh, hopefully will be cleansed once they watch and
Honestly,
yeah.
just laugh at them. Just let them be old and dumb.
But they
It's
want you to
fine.
laugh at them though. That's the thing.
Exactly. So who cares? Just laugh. If it's like an old, it's your like grandma. Let her tell her bad jokes. It's fine.
I that's
I don't know.
that's
I gently correct grandma. You know what I mean? Like I try to
you have
slowly make them aware
why?
of the woke stuff.
It
Okay,
doesn't
listen.
matter.
Listen. It depends on the joke for me. If it's the pronouns helicopter
Yeah, yeah,
joke,
yeah, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not gonna fly. Grandma's gonna learn real quick. She's gonna learn that lesson. And I'm gonna tell you right now. the grandmas don't understand what it means to have a gender identity because gender was so strongly enforced in them. So it's hard for you to really be mad at them when they make those jokes because they actually don't understand the implication of those jokes because they weren't given the same space to exist, which we are now given. So instead of getting mad at grandma or telling her that her joke sucks, give her a better joke or just say, "Hey, grandma, we don't discredit people's personal opinions about their body because you don't like that either. That's it.
And
Educate where necessary, ignore when necessary.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's better that way."
Well put. Well put. Well put.
Well put, Mama.
Raza wants to yell at something.
No, I'm not yelling. I'm just saying, like, you have to kind of explain to them the whole gender thing too, and that will take a
Trust
minute.
me, I have had to explain.
Okay.
See,
that is a hill I will die on. I'm sorry, but you cannot argue that with me.
This is a good podcast topic for another day, fam.
It's good to explain it, but like, God, like I personally haven't been through that because my grandparents don't know.
It's a dance.
I have the best way to make somebody understand the concept of transgender and pronouns. I have mastered how to have that conversation.
Okay.
I'll tell you guys about it one day.
Okay, sounds
good. I have mastered it. Yeah.
No, save it. I think that's a smarter move. We'll do that. So we're gonna close off. We're gonna close off with the tweet of the week, unless we have any final words about why boomers are late to the edging party.
No. I actually.
What?
Hold on. I'm just gonna say. I'm gonna say this because I want to stay on brand for the last few podcasts. There's something exciting that I just saw online that I really wanted to tell you guys, but I'm gonna wait until the live portion of the show. So if you are listening to the podcast on your favorite listening app right now, you should come and hang out when we are streaming because that's when we talk about other things after the show, and you're going to miss out on this topic that I'm going to talk to these guys about because you don't get to hear it during the recording. Sorry. Come to the live.
So why Mom is just threatening, usual, why Mom threatens our audience.
This is our new PR manager. Thank you, Wine Mom, for that well-crafted advertisement. So, now...
If you don't come, I'll fucking kill you. If you...
Way to ruin it, Raza. Okay, tweet of the week is on screen. All right. So, tweet of the week is by the Whoopee Defense Force, and it is... leaning in and kissing my homie during a heated, quote-unquote, best Kanye album debate.
Timely.
Good way to bond. If you're ever having a trouble, like, arguing with your homie and you need to make
just lean in for a good old smack. Lean in. Right, be like, let me kiss you, man. Let me give you a wet one. Nice.
Yeah, nice. Okay, kids. That's it for today. We have nothing crazy to give you at the end of the episode. If you are... Wine Mom already did the call to action. So check out our stuff. We're live on Monday. We post the podcast on Fridays. Bailey's live doing weird shit on Wednesdays. Soon you're going to see Raza as a VTuber. And I'm going to get rich eventually if... Raza decides to make more TikToks because he's great.
Goodbye, show.
Thank you again for watching us badly talk about these topics.
You can follow us on Twitch, Marching Into Madness, all one word, no space. On the gram, marching_into_madness, and on Patreon at patreon.com/marching-into-madness. And again, on Le Discord at Marching Into Madness.
Join us, and Bailey will pay you 10 whole Canadian dollars.
You can follow Whitey over at gnarly_media on the Insta. You must definitely follow the life of our whole podcast, Wine Mom, at XWineMomX, because the year's 2002, and we still have the X in our names. And me, your favorite brown boy, at _R.R Malik _.
Thank you for the third time. We love you. Drink some milk and be healthy.
Remember, kids, say no to school and yes to
It's like such bad advice. It's like, here we put this well-formulated podcast together with good insight on facts and truth and political points and social issues. Don't go to school, dude.
Oh god.
Bailey listens to me.
Shouldn't be near school after saying that.
It's like Bailey listens to me say the sentence and he goes, maybe I should say my sentence now.